would you say that your African and Nigerian heritage specifically has had an impact in the type of businesswoman you are and in your products as well, and in your brand? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having grown up partially in Nigeria, one of the most amazing things, and I think we take it for granted, if you're raised here, you take for granted the fact that race is not an issue, in the sense that when you're abroad, like let's say you're in America or you're in the US or you're in the UK, here everybody looks like you, right? So, you know, in America when Obama became president, everybody was like, oh my goodness, my president's black. I was like, in Nigeria, the president's been black since we've had a president, you know? So like, there's certain things which you just take for granted. And so when it came to the lingerie industry and saying, okay, they're not catering to people that look like me, I think it's that like Nigerianness in me, which is like, you know, I'm not going to just manage. Why shouldn't I have what white women have? I shouldn't have to manage. I should be able to have exactly what they have. And so I think that my heritage and being unapologetic about my heritage definitely has helped.
Or have you experienced any kind of backlash in terms of representation, in terms of wanting to have a brand that is diverse and caters towards a diverse audience, or has it been quite welcoming for you?
So I think the amazing thing is, because I was a black woman making things for black people, you know, another woman of color, people of color, there was that immediate support from my market, because they were like, you look like me, you're catering to me, this is amazing. In the broader industry, there was a lot more, I'd say, maybe a bit of resistance, where people went, oh, you know, that seems a bit niche. And I'm like, it's not niche, but there was definitely that sort of like, people didn't necessarily want to admit that the industry needed to move forward, because it's work, right? And so I think there was definitely a like, oh, this is a great idea, but people didn't want to embrace it immediately, which obviously over the past 8 years, that's changed a lot, but at the beginning, there was a lot more resistance.
And I was going to ask you, in terms of the core brand values for Nubian Skin, how have you ensured that you've stayed true to those? So, for example, you just spoke about the resistance that you got earlier on. It could have been quite easy for you to kind of go down a different path, I guess, or choose a different route because of that, but you stayed really true to what your initial, you know, vision was.
Yeah.
So how have you managed that?
I think for me, everything that we've done has been, so our motto is empowering women, embracing our color. And I think for me, it was really about, okay, how do we embrace and celebrate our color? Because for me, black is just so beautiful. The diverse arrays from, you know, you have black people who are super, super, super fair, almost, you know, like white. And then you've got the darkest ebony. And for me, that is beautiful. All of it is beautiful. And so the whole ethos behind the brand is embracing that and celebrating that. And that's been in everything we do. So everything we do is in our 4 colors. I would love to add more colors one day. But it will always be about celebrating that, celebrating the diversity in that, and celebrating just being proud of what that represents. Yeah, the core values have never changed, and they will never change.